The Dragon Ball universe is filled with a lot of characters, but not every character gets its justice, and a lot of events are skipped over or ignored entirely. The timelines are different. What if I told you in one timeline, Goku wasn't the first Saiyan who went to Yardrat. There was one Saiyan before him. A Saiyan who went there before all of the Saiyans after the destruction of planet Vegeta. The story of a long lost Saiyan. The story of Bardock. What character do you want to get more attention in Dragon Ball? The character that deserves more character development or story moments? Tell me in the comments. This is Bardock After. This is a fan-made manga. It's not canon. It's not in the head canon of the story. This is a different timeline. A timeline where Bardock survived. With that, our story begins. It all begins in this moment of when Frieza was about to destroy planet Vegeta. There, the only Saiyan who stood against him was Bardock. This is a tale of revenge, when he tried to save his planet but couldn't. At that moment when he was about to die, he had a vision of his son Kakarot facing Frieza, the one that took out every Saiyan on that planet and didn't care for anyone. When he faced Bardock's son, he made one fatal mistake. That mistake awakened something in Goku, his Super Saiyan form, the legendary Saiyan form who was thought to be a legend. After Bardock sees that vision of his son achieving Super Saiyan, he suddenly wakes up. He somehow survived. And this change is the first change that happened. This change will have major consequences in the future. He even doesn't know where he is. The only thing that he remembered is being attacked. Then he remembers his vision of his son Kakarot and the golden form. He doesn't know what that is. Could the legend be true? Could his son fulfill the ancient prophecy? Was he a Super Saiyan? We all know that he achieved it. But if you take into account what Bardock knows, the Super Saiyan form was only a legend. No one achieved it in his time. That's why he doesn't know if it actually is the Super Saiyan form. We get to see the planet. It's familiar. It's Yardrat from its looks. As we get to see that, someone opens a door. We see it's a Yardrat there. Even Bardock knows what he is. That means he met a Yardrat before. That's why he knew who they were. He figured out that he is on planet Yardrat. He doesn't know how he got there. Even if he saved planet Vegeta, the Yardrat answers and says that yeah, he is on planet Yardrat. This is the second time that they met. Bardock started to remember a day on this planet. The story goes like this. A few years back, Frieza discovered the instant transmission technique. They aren't a warrior race, so when Frieza's soldiers came, they were pushed to the edge. Keep in mind, instant transmission isn't the only technique that the Yardrats can use, but it's the only one that Goku learned there. The Yardrats were holding their ground and protected their planets from the soldiers until more powerful soldiers were dispatched to the planet. One of those soldiers was called Chippy. When he arrived, the tides of battle changed. They knew at that moment that they couldn't resist anymore. Nothing that they could have done would have changed their fate. They accepted their defeat until Bardock appeared. He talks with Chippy. It's been a long time. He's still picking on the weak. From those words, we know that he didn't come to help him. He even says that he isn't here to help him take care of the natives of the Yardrats. He says Chippy's image disgusts him and his existence offends him. He came here to get rid of him. He wants to see his reaction when he realizes that he will lose all of his life he spent destroying planets and taking everything dear to the people who couldn't fight. Now it's his time. The reason that Bardock came here is because Chippy killed his friend Cairo. He made that fate when he failed to complete a mission. Bardock isn't an angel, isn't a good guy in his eyes, but Chippy took from him a friend that was like a brother to him. That was the first time that Bardock actually decided to rise against Frieza. With that, Bardock powers up to show Chippy his true power. His power level is rising. It's over 4,000. He was never this strong. How could it be? But Bardock keeps powering up more. His power level now is 6,300. As he finishes, you could see the anger on his face. He will tear him apart. With that, he charges at him and starts pounding on him, sending him to the sky. He gets behind him and launches him once more to the ground. As he crashes, Bardock gets his hand and says, "Burn." He fires an energy beam. The anger in his eyes is obvious. With the key blast, it explodes and takes care of Chippy. As the fight ends, he doesn't want any witnesses that will tell Frieza what happened. That's why he takes care of every soldier that came to this planet. That's when he left the planet. The YOUNGJIJIs didn't care for his intentions. The fact stands, Bardock saved their people. That's why even if he didn't come to help them, they owe him a debt. Using their instant transmission technique, they kept an eye on the Saiyans. They were waiting for a chance to repay the debt. A week ago, they learned of Frieza's plans to destroy Planet Vegeta. Although they wanted to help, they didn't stand a chance against Frieza. So they did the next best thing. When Bardock was about to be killed by him, they used instant transmission to save him. That's when the debt was finally paid. The YOUNGJIJI asks Bardock what is his plans. They saved him, but his planet is gone. Do you plan to attack Frieza once more? Bardock answers and says that he will dedicate his life for one purpose and one purpose only, to take care of Frieza for what he has done. He wiped out the entire planet that consisted of loyal soldiers to him just because of an urban legend. He doesn't want to live his life away from everything, forget everything that happened. He wants to restore the pride of his race that Frieza took from him. After hearing that, the YOUNGJIJI offers Bardock to help him in his quest. From his perspective, he needs every bit of help that he can get. If he fought Frieza as he is now, this time no one will save him. He wants him to stay here for a while to train, then go and fight Frieza. They can train him here and make him stronger. Bardock is surprised. Train here? He remembered the visions that he had. If his son was really a Super Saiyan, then he's far too weak right now to be of any use. If Goku was happy to do it, then he must also. That's when he agrees to stay on YOUNGJIJI and train there. You shouldn't take the YOUNGJIJI training lightly. On this planet, Goku was able to control his Super Saiyan form and learned instant transmission. So training here is a lot more useful than you think. With that began Bardock's training. We see the YOUNGJIJI training him. Even though the training is hard, it's almost impossible, but Bardock says that he must surpass his limits, the limits of the Saiyan race, because he wants Frieza to beg for his life. We fast forward to the future. As the YOUNGJIJI says, his powers have grown tremendously over the last year. The Saiyans are truly terrifying creatures. He has grown at least 100 times stronger than before in barely a year. But Bardock says that it's not even close to Goku. He was still far beyond this level. He was truly the strongest in the universe. Now we see how exactly he was trained. He went through an increased gravity training. Because the YOUNGJIJIs have advanced healing powers, he used that to activate his Zenkai boost. The Zenkai boost is when a Saiyan is pushed to his limits to the point that he might die, he gets a boost in power. That's what Bardock used to push himself beyond his limits. When he activated his Zenkai boost, the YOUNGJIJI healed him. Even after all of that, it's still not enough. What is he missing? What's the key to go beyond his limits? Another year has passed since that point. Now he's ready to go and confront Frieza. With the power that he has, Frieza wouldn't pose a threat to him. The power that Bardock achieved could rival a Super Saiyan. He might have even achieved his Super Saiyan form. Keep in mind, when Goku achieved it, he achieved it when he saw the loss of a friend. Now, Bardock didn't just lose a friend, he lost his entire race, his wife, and almost everyone that he loved. With the Zenkai boost, he went beyond his limits. He says to the YOUNGJIJI that he wants to ask him for one last favor. In a few years, his son may arrive on this planet. If that should happen, he wants him to take care of him. But Bardock missed one major flaw in the favor. That being, Goku only went to YOUNGJIJI because he went against Frieza and was lost in space after he won. That's when he ended up on YOUNGJIJI. But if Bardock went and took care of Frieza on his own, then Goku wouldn't go to Namek and he would have not achieved his Super Saiyan form and ended up on planet YOUNGJIJI and even learning instant transmission. At this point, he's not thinking about that. With that, he says goodbye to his friend and thanks him. He teleports to Planet Frieza. There, the only thing that he's doing after he gained that power is taking care of Frieza's henchmen. Bardock is still taking care of every Frieza soldier that he can get his hands on. This is a revenge for what they did to Planet Vegeta. We see the amount of power that he has with the destruction that he caused. Even one of the strongest warriors couldn't stand against him. He took care of him in an instant From here, he keeps on his rampage. He goes to every planet that he can sense Frieza's soldier on it, gradually taking care of Frieza's empire. Suddenly Bardock gets a headache, he feels something, he gets a vision, he doesn't know why or how. The interference of the YOUNGJIJII has created an alternate timeline. Is the future that Bardock sees only a possibility, or is it an inescapable future? With that concludes the story of Bardock on YOUNGJIJII. The story of the first YOUNGJIJII Saiyan before Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyan who trained there. The story of a different timeline. The timeline of Bardock. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and saying that, I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.